Hi there, good morning, good day, whatever it is. So this is the pre-recording for our module 2, which will be discussed briefly. So I'm hoping that you will be religious on listening on this. Okay, so as usual, syempre, as promised, I'm gonna give you an icebreaker. So our icebreaker is describe the following words or animals or anything using one word. So I'm gonna say one um, word and then you will describe it using one word, maybe an adjective or an adverb. Pero syempre, kapag noun siya, dapat adjective yan. English tuloy yung subject natin. Yeah. So first is describe dog. What word would you describe dog? What is dog? Number two is cat, pusa, meow meow. Number three is rat, daga. Number four is juice. Para masarap yung juice na yun, di ba? And number five, coffee. So you need to write those down, and then as always, you will be posting them on our close group later. So be sure that you are a member of the close group. So module 2 is about unfolding the biological self. So we will have two sections for this module. So I'm hoping that it will be brief. The first will be the physical self, and the number two session is the sexual self. So I've already given you 5 videos related to this topic. That channel in YouTube is one of my favorite channels because they're very good in giving educational contents. So, share ko lang nung nag-board exam ako, they're one of those channels na talagang minarathon ko. Kaya maraming na-retain sa memory ko. And I'm hoping also na ganun yung mangyari sa inyo. You don't need to memorize all the terms that were given in that specific channel, but I'm just gonna give I given you that those video kasi para meron na kayong idea kung ano yung i-discuss natin. Though we will not be using all the technical terms, but it's just good that you know the terms already. Okay, let's start with section 1, which is the physical self. So at the end of this section, you were expected to discuss the concept of heredity and maturation, identify biological and environmental factors that impact the self, and analyze and evaluate issues associated with physical well-being. So let's start. First, let us see what is our biological blueprint. So the physical self is important aspect of our behavior. Kasi dito tayo nakikilala. Kapag sinabi yung pangalan mo, you will be identified by your physical features. Like kung ano yung height mo, ano yung kulay ng buhok mo, anong kulay ng balat mo, gaano kalaki or gaano kaliit yung mata mo, paano yung kilay mo, ano yung ilong mo, and everything physically about you will be identified. So parang sasabihin nila, whenever we describe people, we always tend to identify them with their physical features. And then secondarily, dun natin sasabihin yung mabait yun, matalino yun, and so on and so forth. So physical attributes also includes physical competencies, valuation of physical worth, and perception of beauty, which is yun yung i-discuss natin later on our well-being. Physical self is shaped by biological and environmental factors. So biologically, because we already have seen in the video that I've sent to you that you are a mixture of both of your parents, and also a mixture of your parents are mixtures of your grandparents. So kumbaga, you are a mixture of everything that has been going on your bloodline for how many years. So na-discuss din doon kung sino si Mendel, si Aristotle, na ulit-ulit nating pinag-uusapan. So according to Mendel, yung heredity is yung nakukuha natin from both parents na pwedeng lumabas or pwedeng hindi, pwedeng dominant sa'yo yung genes, pwedeng hindi. And environmental factors naman is yung hygiene natin, kung paano ka naliligo, kung gaano ka kadalas naliligo, kaya nga yung joke na isang paligo lang ang lamang is actually totoo kasi kapag di ka masyado naliligo, pwedeng maka-affect yun on your physical health, nutrition, also yung kinakain natin whenever we eat something, it is also being reflected on our physical well-being. So there are times that I'm eating just vegetables and talagang makikita natin na nag-glow yung balat pala kapag nag-vegetables tayo. And also the standard of beauty. Mamaya mas maidi-discuss natin yan, that what are those factors na nakaka-affect kung bakit ganun yung tingin natin kung ano yung maganda at ano yung hindi. So physical self is not just superficial but rather includes what is inside our bodies. So kung ano yung puso mo, what is your internal organs, also what is inside, which means kung ano yung makeup ng mga kalit-liitan na parte ng katawan mo is also part of your physical self. So let us talk about heredity. Heredity is the transmission of trait from parents to offspring. So kung ano ka ngayon, it is a product of the match up of your parents and which is your mother and your father. So whatever it is, yun yung lumitaw sa'yo. So it is based on the genes. So kung yung genes is the basic unit of heredity na nakita natin dun sa video, that the pair up of the genes, yung mga receptors nila affects kung ano yung kulay ng buhok natin, paano yung build ng muscles natin, pati yung earwax natin, di ba? It is affected. So, pag sinabi natin genotype, ito yung totality na embedded information within one's genes. So, sometimes hindi yan readily observed kasi hindi siya kanon ka-dominant. So, our genotype refers to the both dun sa recessive and yung dominant genes natin. On the other hand naman, pag sinabi mong phenotype, ito yung physical expression of the particular trait. So for example, hindi ibig sabihin na nagmana ka sa tatay mo sa physical features mo. It doesn't mean na wala ka nang namana sa mother mo. It may also imply na sa genotype mo, andun pa rin yung mga traits ng nanay mo, pero hindi nga lang nag-manifest sa phenotype ng mga traits na lumilitaw sa'yo. So take for example, dun sa video natin na pinapanood ko sa inyo, I'm hoping that you already have watched those video na kumari yung tatay mo has wet earwax and your mother has dry earwax. So possible 50-50 na magkaroon ka ng dry or wet na earwax according to the receptors yung genes receptors na nag-manifest and then nung lumabas, dry yung earwax mo. But it doesn't mean na wala ka ng genes ng wet earwax. Okay. So for example, in my case, my mother and my father has way different features. So hindi sila magkamukha. There are kasi couples na medyo magkamukha, di ba? Pero my father and my mother are actually polar opposite. So my mom is mestiza, medyo singkit, manipis ang buhok, tapos medyo petite ang katawan. On the other side naman, yung tatay ko is yung lahi nila medyo moreno yung itsura, tapos mukhang Arabo, hindi singkitin, mahaba yung mga pilik mata, tapos makakapal ang buhok. So, in my case, kung titignan natin kung paano nag-manifest yung mga genes na yon ng both parents ko, we are three in the family. I have three sisters. So, yung dalawang sisters ko, ang nag-manifest sa kanila, yung naging dominant gene sa kanila is yung gene ng tatay ko. Kaya mas kamukha niya yung tatay ko. On my part naman, nung una, I'm confused kasi hindi ko kamukha yung both ko na kapatid. Tapos, hindi ko rin nakikitang kamukhang kamukha ko yung tatay ko or kamukhang kamukha ko yung nanay ko. Pero, if you will look at it, yung nag-manifest sa akin was the recessive genes of both of my parents. Kasi, ang lumitaw na kamukha ko is yung mga naunang mga tao sa amin, which is yung mga lolo't lola ko, yung mga features ng lola ko sa father side, also yung features ng lola ko sa mother side, yun yung lumitaw sa akin. Wherein naging recessive yun dun sa parents ko, dun sa generation ng parents ko, pero naging dominant siya sa generation ko. So, pwedeng possible na ganun din sa inyo. So, maybe you were thinking right now, sino ba yung kamukha ko? Kanino ba nakuha to? Sino yung dominant and everything like that. Then next, each individual, so lahat tayo, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So we got both 23 pairs. Nag-pairing yon from our parents. Diba? Nakita natin dun sa video na si mommy meron 23 from the egg cell, si daddy may 23 from the sperm cell, nag-meet sila, nag-partner sila, at wala, yun na ikaw. And the 23rd chromosome is known as the sex chromosome. So, yun yung nagde-determine kung babae ba tayo or lalaki tayo. So, mamaya dun sa section 2, mas maiintindihan natin kung ano po ba yung babae at lalaki. So, kapag babae ka, XX. Kapag lalaki ka, XY. Environmental conditioning. Our genes determine the extent of our physical features, pero as we grow up, we're exposed to environmental influences that shapes our whole being. So it doesn't mean naman na, ay, hindi talaga kami tabain eh, kaso kumain ka naman ng maraming-marami. Kahit na hindi tabain yung lahi ninyo, pero due to your environment and your nutrition, possible pa rin na tumaba yung isang tao. So first na nagiging environmental condition ng ating mga genes is our family. Kaya nga kung paano tayo, hindi lang yung features natin, hindi lang yung mukha natin, but how we take care of ourselves. Kung gaano ka katagal sa banyo, or kung ano yung ginagamit yung sabon, most likely influence yan ng family nyo. Kung ano yung madalas mong kinakain, ano yung hindi mo kinakain, madalas influence yan ng family nyo. So, environmental conditioning, kung bakit mataas ang sodium ninyo, baka mahilig sa maalat, maalat magluto yung timpla ng magulang mo, kaya mataas yung sodium mo. On the other hand, after that, as you go along, may mga kalaro ka na, yung mga kalaro mo mismo, nagkakaroon yan ng effect sa'yo on how you portray yourself, what are your words na ginagamit mo, also on your physical appearance. Kung nabarkada ka sa mga maaarte, possible na ma-adapt mo yung pagiging maayos nila. Kung nabarkada ka sa mga boys, possible din na ma-adapt mo yung pagiging chill lang nila. So, another example ng mga nagkakaroon ng effect sa atin is yung media. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng media? We see all over our commercials na kung ano yung standard of beauty dito sa Philippines. Ang standard of beauty dito sa Philippines, mahaba ang buhok, straight ang buhok, possible na naka-blonde yung buhok, also maputi, mapayat. So, makikita natin, naturally in the genetic code of the Philippines, hindi naman talaga ganon yung natural na lalabas sa Filipinos. So, it is natural for Filipinos to be moreno or morena. It is possible for Filipinos to have wavy hair. And it's also possible for Filipinos to not be sobrang payat. Like yung mga Korean na mga tao. Pero dahil yun yung standard of beauty natin, magkakaroon yun ng effect. Kaya nga sobrang hit ng mga gluta, ano tawag doon? Mga gluta spa na nagpapaputi, di ba? Talagang gagastos yung mga tao para lang maabot nila yung standard of beauty na pinoportray ng media. So, how can we achieve our physical well-being? So, these are just few things para ma-achieve natin yung physical well-being natin. We're gearing towards the end of section 1. So, first is healthy eating. Kailangan nating i-watch kung ano yung kinakain natin. If we want to be healthy, if we want to live a long life, we need to watch what we eat. We are what we eat. Kung mahilig ka sa mga junk food, might as well nagiging junk din yung katawan mo. Kung mahilig ka sa mga healthy food, might as well nagiging healthy yung katawan mo. So always remember to eat as much as possible a balanced meal. Huwag tayo nagka-crash diet. Hindi yan effective. Also, too much of everything is not okay. So always remember to be healthy in everything na kinakain natin. Also, embracing a healthy lifestyle. Matulog ng maaga, mag-unat-unat kung hindi kayang magkaroon ng exercise. Kahit tumayo ka lang naman, gumawa ka ng household chores, basta pinawisan ka, that's healthy for you. You're already releasing endorphins which will be effective para mabalance yung mood natin. Also, maintaining proper hygiene. Kahit online class, hopefully, pag pumapasok tayo sa online class natin, naliligo pa rin kahit man lang maghilamos. Kasi that helps us para maset yung mind natin that we are on class, and also para naman sa sarili mo din yan, di ba? Parang kadiri naman nun kung papasok ka sa klase na hindi ka man lang pumasok sa banyo or naligo. So make sure that you are maintaining good and proper hygiene. Next is being confident. Kahit gaano pa kaganda yung isang tao sa tingin ng iba, kung wala siyang confidence sa sarili niya, mapapawalang bisa lang din yung ganda niya. So always remember that we are beautiful and we are all masterpiece of the Lord. So whatever it is, kung ano yung itsura mo ngayon, yan yung binigay sa'yo So I believe na kailangan nating i-make use or we have to maximize whatever was given to us. So kung ito yung binigay sa atin, pangalagaan natin, pagandahin natin. So, I am not against plastic surgery. It's just that na hindi ko china-judge yung mga tao nagpa-plastic surgery. Pero ako, I myself, I don't want to undergo plastic surgery kung ako yung tatanungin. So, being confident is, kahit na anong surgery pa yung gawin, kung walang confidence sa sarili natin, wala ding mangyayari dun sa ganda mo or sa kapwapuhan mo. So let's move on to section 2. Our learning outcomes here will be discuss and elaborate the concept of associated with sexual self, including sex and gender, identify factors that contribute to one's sexual development, and explain how one manifests responsible sexual behavior. Let's talk about sex. So ano ba yung sex? Socio-biological aspect of the self. So sexual self is the biological, physical, emotional, and social domain. So it encompasses everything mula sa biological, ano yung physical, emotional, and social domain. Biologically, kapag sinabi mong male, XY. Pag sinabi mong female, XX. Physically, pag sinabi mong male, mayroon siyang penis. Kapag sinabi mong female, mayroon siyang vagina. Emotionally, pag sinabi mong male, different siya. Pag sinabi mong female, they have different emotional domain and other domains like social domain. So let's talk about biological sex. The primary sex characteristic of us kapag pinanganak ka, malalaman mo kung babae or lalaki nung hindi pa uso yung ultrasound. Kung lalaki siya, may penis siya. Kung babae siya, meron siyang vagina. Kasi kapag mabubuo ka sa tiyan ng nanay mo, on the first trimester, magkakaroon na ng formation yan. So pag una, according to some biologists, iisa lang naman yung itsura niya. And then eventually, kung Y chromosome yung dumikit dun sa 23rd chromosome, yun yung possible na magiging lalaki ka. So kapag X and X naman ang nag-meet dun sa 23rd chromosome, magiging babae ka at makaka-develop ka ng vagina. Pero as we grow older, kapag naging teenager ka na, nagkakaroon na ng mga changes, like yung mga lalaki, nagiging broad yung shoulder nila, nagkakaroon sila ng mga facial hair, nagkakaroon sila ng deeper voice. So, yun yung nangyayari sa mga lalaki. On the other hand naman, yung mga babae, di ba, nagkakaroon sila ng mga fats in different parts of the body that we find attractive. Also, nagiging mas petit, nagiging mas curvy yung katawan nila and things like, mas nagiging conscious sila at nagkakaroon sila ng menstruation. So, yun yung secondary characteristic natin, yung mga physical change. Also, as we go to our teenage life, nararamdaman na natin yung changes dun sa urges, dun sa stimuli and arousal. Minsan, nung bata ka, wala ka naman pakialam kung may makita kang mga bagay na para sa ibang tao ay malaswa. Pero, there will come a time na ma-awaken talaga yung mga urges na to. And also, there are some youth that already has been doing sexual activities. To in my principle, hindi ako for the sexual activities kapag bata pa. Bakit? Kasi hindi pa ganun ka-form yung iyong self, hindi pa ganun ka-form yung mga parts ng katawan mo, hindi pa sila ready for that. And if you're gonna do it in advance, pwede siya magkaroon ng consequences in the future. Not only physically, but also spiritually and emotionally. So a person should be aware of his or her sexuality and sexual attributes in order to make responsible decisions. Maraming mga tao nagkakaroon sila ng mga depression, nagkakaroon sila ng mga manifestation ng anxiety. It's because meron silang mga unresolved issues sa sexuality nila. That is why kung meron man sa inyo na medyo nahihirapan kayo on finding out kung ano talaga kayo, it's totally okay because you're still in that stage in your life wherein you're experimenting, you are finding out who you really are. So don't jump into conclusion na, ay, hindi ko talaga alam kung sino ako, hindi ko na makikilala. It's totally normal for your age not to know yet. But, kudos dun sa mga tao na kilala na talaga nila yung sarili nila. So, adolescent needs to make informed choices. So, sometimes because you just want to experiment, especially yung mga teenagers, nagkakaroon sila ng mga bagay na ginagawa nila at hindi pa nila napag-iisipan. So always remember, when you have the urge to do things, to say things, to jump into things na very abrupt, always remember to make a pause, kahit magbilang ka muna ng 60 seconds bago mo gawin yung isang bagay. Parang online shopping lang yan. Kapag gusto mo nang mag-add to cart, in-add to cart mo na, tapos gusto mo nang mag-checkout, stop ka muna. Pagpambukas mo na muna or isipin mo yung mga bagay, bakit hindi mo siya kailangan gawin. Ganon din sa sexual activities. Also, engaging into sexual activities may result to consequences. Ito nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. Yung mga maaga na nag-involve, madalas sa mga maaga na nag-involve sa sexual activities as early as 12, 13 years old na babae, nagkakaroon sila ng cervical cancer. So, kasi nga, hindi pa ready yung katawan na mag-involve sa ganon. Tapos, ginagawa yung mga bagay na ganon. Hindi pa matured yung iyong cervix, yung uterus mo, yung mismong vagina mo. Hindi pa siya matured. Hindi pa siya totally developed. And then, you engage to that matter. Therefore, hindi siya nagiging healthy. Also, on the part naman ng mga guys, sinasabi nila, wala naman mawawala sa akin, lalaki ako. Possible. Emotionally, you do not know that you are actually doing some harm to yourself if you are engaging to sexual activities na hindi naman pinag-iisipan. Maraming mga tao akala nila na kapag nakikipag-sex sila, it's an expression of love or maybe it's an expression of commitment. Pero actually, for me, it's not that. So later on, we will discuss more about that. So let's talk about Soji. Diba? Naririnig niyo yung Soji Bill, Soji, Soji. So minsan, akala niyo ano yung Soji Boy? Hindi. Yung Soji, it's a acronym for sexual orientation and gender identity. So sex is, as I've said earlier, is assigned in birth. Kung ano yung assigned mo in birth. Of course, merong male and female. Meron din namang hermaphrodite or intersex. Pero still, mamimili pa rin sila kung alin dun sa dalawang lumabas na sex organs nila yung kanilang preferred. So, sex is assigned in birth. And then, gender is learned and embraced. So, dahil sa environment natin, gender is you're either masculine or a feminine person. So, kung masculine ka, higa yung dating mo. Pag feminine, medyo malambot. So, it's possible, it's totally possible that you are male but you are feminine. So, ito yung mga tao na lalaki sila, may asawa sila, pero yung kilos nila feminine. Possible because they were raised by feminine people. Hindi sila lumaki with their fathers. Napapalibutan sila ng mga tao na malambing. Possible yon, pero it doesn't necessarily mean na bakla ka agad. Kaya let us not be quick to judge kapag nakita lang natin yung kilos ng tao ay ganon. Also, pwede din naman na merong isa female siya, pero masculine siya. So, maybe pinalaki siya na maging matigas, na maging malakas, na maging sika, kasi kailangan niyang ipagtanggol yung sarili niya. So, let us also not be quick to judge on those people. So, different yung sex sa sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is actually a continuum. It's not binary. So, pwedeng ikaw ay heterosexual. So, pag heterosexual ka, you are attracted. So, sexual orientation, it's a matter of attraction. So, it's either you're attracted to your opposite sex, meaning heterosexual, or you are attracted to the same sex, which is homosexual. So, in between that, maybe may mga tao na tinatawag natin bisexual. So, they are attracted both. Pwedeng boy, pwedeng girl. So, chick boy sila. Pwede sila sa chicks, pwede sila sa boy. So, that's a joke of course. Pero, it is totally possible that you are attracted to those. Pero ano ba ibig sabihin ng attraction, ma'am? Kasi hindi naman na nagandahan ka, na pugihan ka, na ay mambay na pala ako. Hindi. It means that you feel arousal, you feel that intense feeling na parang you want something more things than to that person. Hindi lang, it's not a simple physical attraction na nagandahan ka sa isang tao or na-attract ka sa kanya, but we are talking about sexual attraction here in sexual orientation. Next is gender identity. Ang gender identity, ito yung sinasabi ko, pwede naman na ikaw ay homo na na ikaw ay hetero na lalaki, it means you are attracted sexually to female or the opposite sex, pero feminine ka. Naiintindihan natin? It doesn't mean na kapag yung tao feminine siya at lalaki siya, napaka-komplikado, di ba? Male siya, hetero siya, the assigned sex is male. And then the embraced gender is feminine because of the upbringing. And then the sexual orientation is kahit na feminine siya, still meron siyang sexual attraction sa hetero. At wala siya, as in talaga hindi niya ma-imagine yung sarili niya sa mga same or sa homo. So, kumbaga, ang gender identity niya pa rin is male and masculine. So, dito na sa gender identity yung marami, LGBTQ++. So, dito na natin siya. Ito yung composition kung bakit nagkakaroon ng LGBTQ. So, yung lesbian assigned at birth is female siya. And then, ang gender learned niya is maybe masculine, pero still, merong mga lesbian na feminine. So, either feminine or things like that. Tapos, ang sexual orientation niya is hetero. And then, gender identity niya is lesbian. So, ganun yung ibig sabihin nung ating pinag-uusapan. Again, ang sex is assigned at birth at ang gender is learned by the environment and we learn to embrace it. So, kumbaga, yung sinasabi nila kapag 5 months na yung tiyan na, ay, gender reveal, it's politically incorrect kasi hindi mo mare-reveal yung gender ng isang tao kasi hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung i-embrace niya pagdating ng araw. So, it's more politically correct to say sex reveal. Pero syempre, dahil sa Pilipinas, medyo nag-cringe yung mga tao pag sinabi yung word na sex. Medyo alam nyo na, kaya hindi yun gagamitin. Pero it's more politically correct to say sex reveal than gender reveal. Okay. So the consequences of sexual choices. So we can talk about more of this dun sa synchronous class natin. You can ask me if nahihiya kayo sa messenger ko. You can ask all about this. I am the Gender and Development Focal Person of Systems Plus. So even though I am a Christian, syempre open din naman yung mind ko sa ganito. Open yung mind ko to answer questions kasi kapag hindi kayo nagtanong, syempre baka ano pang eksperimento yung gawin ninyo, then it's better for you to learn from these people. So, sexual intercourse is aka copulation. So, kapag nag-meet yung lalaki, they felt the intent, babae, lalaki, or babae, lalaki, they felt the intense feeling and they went to something deeper and deeper, nagkakaroon ng copulation. So, copulation is technically kapag nag-meet na or nagkaroon na ng contact yung mga genitalias nila, yung female vagina and yung male penis. So, sometimes yung mga ibang mga tao, ako kasi, kwento ko lang sa inyo, I'm really into the principle of waiting until yung marriage. So, meron nung high school pa lang, as early as high school, nung pagpasok ko nung college, nagulat ako that there is this one Catholic school. I will not name the school, pero there is a Catholic school in Pampanga. Tapos, nung sinurvey nila yung mga estudyante nila, 95% of their students are not virgin anymore nung gumraduate sila ng high school. So, bakit kaya nangyayari yon? Kasi nakikita ko sa mga naging kaklase ko nung high school na yung mga boyfriend nila kasi parang pag hindi ka sumuko or hindi mo sinuko yung bataan, hindi mo ako mahal. So, hopefully boys, wag nating gawing sukatan ng pagmamahal yung pagbibigay ng sarili. Kasi always remember na kapag ginawa niyo na yung bagay na yun, nagkakaroon ng invisible thread, which is the soul tie, na kahit na wala na kayo, hindi naman kayo sure kung kayo yung magkakatuluyan. Tapos binigay mo yung sarili mo, both of you. Akala kasi ng iba, yung babae lang yung nagkakaroon ng ganun na soul tie na parang feeling niya siya lang yung nawalan. Boys, marami ding mawawala sa inyo. Kasi, kumbaga, wala na yung excitement. Hahanapin nyo na yon once na ginawa nyo yung bagay na yon. Also, it may be one of the consequences is teenage pregnancy. Akala ng marami kapag kahit tingnan niyo sa mga researches, one of the misconceptions ng mga younger generation is that kapag ginawa mo yan, yung copulation, even unprotected, hindi ka mabubuntis pag ginawa mo in certain position like nakatayo or things like that. Hindi. Kapag yung lalaki, nagkaroon siya, lumabas yung sperm cells niya inside the girl and sakto na yung babae, nag-ovulate siya, voila, magkakaroon kayo ng anak. So marami nakalungkot, hopefully na hindi mangyari sa mga wala pang anak dito. So dun sa mga meron na, I'm not judging you. The baby is still a blessing. I'm also asking myself and I'm asking God na gusto ko na magka-baby. Pero of course, sayang naman, maraming mga bagay na pwede pang gawin kung sanang hindi tayo nagkaroon ng baby. Also, STD. So, yan, no? Yung STD, medyo nakakahiyang usapan yan. Meron ako nung NSTP namin, nung batch ko, nagpunta kami sa mga AITA communities. And then, merong isang AITA na nagtanong sa akin about sexually transmitted disease. Hindi ko siya masagot, syempre, kasi wala naman akong experience about those matter. Pero, both of you are kawawa. Kawawa lahat yung magiging partner mo. And kawawa yung mga magiging anak ninyo kasi possible din na mapasa sa kanila yung. So, STD is nakukuha kapag iba-iba yung partner. Tapos, yun nga, walang ginawa na lang hobby yung sex. So, it's not about love anymore. And then, HIV or AIDS. So, yung AIDS is the disease. And then, autoimmunodeficiency syndrome. Tapos, yung HIV is the virus. So, kumbaga, kapag nadapuan ka ng HIV virus, magkakaroon ka ng AIDS. And AIDS right now is one of the leading countries in Philippines in terms of AIDS transmission. So nakakalungkot talaga na ang daming may AIDS sa Pilipinas. So hopefully, huwag na tayo nakakadagdag doon. So if you still have questions about this, you can chat me kung nahihiya kayo mag-raise ng question sa ating synchronous class. So let us be responsible. Meron akong isang prof nung college, tinanong niya ako sa philosophy. Meron isang tribe sa Madagascar na Papua New Guinea, I think. Sa Papua New Guinea na it is ethical. Yan na, let us talk about ethics. It is ethical for them na magpalitan ng partner. So parang mag-usap lang, pare, palit muna tayong asawa ngayon. Tapos, syempre, pag nagpalit kayo ng asawa, it is okay for them na mag-contact sila kasi nagpalit sila ng asawa for the night. So, tinanong ako ng prof ko, Miss Malyari, is it okay for you kung gawin mo yon? Sabi ko, no, sir. Tapos sabi niya, you're missing out a lot. At least, di pa may experience mo yung maraming tao. Tapos sabi ko, still no, sir. Bakit naman? O sige, ibahin natin. Boyfriend mo na lang, sabi niya ganun. Kung magpapalitan sila ng best friend niya, palit muna tayo ng girlfriend para matikman ko naman yung girlfriend mo. Hindi mo ba gagawin? Sabi ko, still no, sir. And bakit? Sabi niya sa akin. Sabi ko, kasi I respect my body, sir. Tapos tumigil na siya. Bakit? Because you yourself has to respect your body. Kailangan mong respetuhin yung sarili mo. Hindi ko naman sinasabi, hindi ko ginajudge yung mga iba sa inyo na maybe sexually active na. Pero still, yun yung prinsipyo ko sa buhay na yun lang yung mabibigay ko sa magiging asawa ko. So, kumbaga, yun yung naging driving force ko kung bakit hindi ko binigay yung sarili ko dun sa mga tao na humihingi. Also, maturity in thoughts and deeds. Most likely, dahil lang sa init ng katawan, kaya nangyayari yon. Naranasan ko rin naman yun eh. Parang pag mag-isa lang kayo, kung ano yung naiisip ninyo. Pero kung wala kayong pagpipigil, talagang mahuhulog kayo dun sa temptation ng sexual intercourse. So, kumbaga, kung gusto ninyo na i-preserve yung sarili ninyo, dapat huwag kayong pupunta dun sa mga lugar na matutokso kayo. Then, being guided by one's personal beliefs and core values. I am thankful na napunta ako sa isang kapatiran or napunta ako sa mga friends na hindi sila masyadong interesado nung college kami sa mga bagay na ganyan. So, my friends are still single up of this moment. Wala pa silang boyfriend. And then, dahil sila yung barkada ko, hindi kami nag-uusap tungkol sa mga gano'n. So, kumbaga, hindi ako curious. And then, nung graduate na ako ng college, doon ako nakakilala kay Jesus as my personal Lord and Savior. And then, I went to attend a church. So, kumbaga, nung nakapag-attend ako doon, mas naging solid yung prinsipyo ko na I will preserve myself. I will wait for the right time kung saan kailangan ko ibibigay yung sarili ko. So, I want to give myself, I made the commitment that I will only give myself to my husband. Kaya, it's very fulfilling. Yung parang sinasabi ng iba, yung wala ka man ng experience, hindi ka man lang nakapag-practice. You don't need to practice, guys. You will have your whole life doing it. So, why practice, diba? So, you will learn how to do it naman on that moment. So, it's instinctive. You don't need to be excited. Talagang ako, personally wala naman akong alam doon. Pero, noong honeymoon namin ng asawa ko, ano lang, go with the flow lang kami. Kasi nga, parang instinct na ng tao yun eh. You don't need to practice it. So, I'm guided with my principles that I'm gonna give myself to my husband only. So, yun yung core values ko. And hindi ko naman sinasabi na, yung mga nagbigay na dyan sa sarili nila, loser kayo. Hindi. Sinasabi ko, that is your values, pero I'm hoping that you know the consequences of what you are doing. So, bakit ganun yung isip ko? Kasi I'm future-oriented. Ambisyosa akong babae. Gusto kong marami akong gustong marating sa buhay. Nung nagkaroon ako ng first boyfriend, nakapag-holding hands kami, medyo may hugging-hugging, tapos parang papunta na sa iba yon. And then, lagi na lang niya sinasabi na, after nating ng fourth year college, mag-asawa na tayo. Hindi ko yung prinsipyo. Sa future ko, gusto ko marami pa akong mapag-aralan. Marami akong gustong marating sa buhay. Marami akong gustong patunayan sa sarili ko. And yun lalaki, ang tingin lang niya, gusto lang niya, wala lang. Ang gusto lang niya is mag-asawa, parang ganun. So if you're future-oriented, you will be thinking of everything that you're gonna be doing in terms of your future. Remember, your decisions today will determine your tomorrow. So kung nag-decision ka today na gawin yung mga bagay na yon, tomorrow it will be your reaping moment. So what you're doing today is your sowing, pagtatanim yan, at yung gagawin mo bukas, pag-aani na. Kung maganda yung tinanim mo today, maganda rin yung aanihin mo bukas. So kumbaga, hindi mo naman i-expect na kung ano-ano pinagagawa mo sa buhay mo ngayon, magiging maganda yung future mo. I don't think so. So, ang mundo, ikot-ikot lang yan. So, alam natin na whatever we're doing right now is a reflection of our future. So, that's the end of Module 2. I'm hoping that you learned a lot from this module and hopefully later marami kayong questions. We will be answering them in our synchronous class. God bless. See you.